Hi everybody, it's me Tess with Tess Loves Yarn. And you guys, I am here today to review 7 different granny square pattern books. And hopefully this will help you if you're in the market for a granny square pattern book. This might help you choose one, all right? So the prices of these books go from $7.99 all the way up to about $40. So the very first book we're going to talk about is this. It's a spiral bound book. It's called Crochet Granny Squares, and this book is very, very good for beginners. This has all kinds of instruction on how to do the stitches, all the way from a single crochet to a treble crochet, and then it talks about working in the round, how to fasten off, weaving in your ends, how to do different stitches like, let's see, puff stitches, V stitches, shell stitches, cluster stitches, bobble stitches, all basket weave, all the different kinds of stitches, okay? However, the drawback with this book, it is absolutely for beginners only. So if you are not a beginner, this book is not for you. If you are a beginner, and I mean a beginner at crochet, even if you know nothing about crochet but you'd like to learn, this is a great book because it has a ton of helpful pictures, and they're real life pictures. So you see the yarn, it's not an animated drawing or whatever. I'm not a fan of those most of the time because they don't always depict what the actual stitch really looks like. This is much better. Yeah, you can just see exactly what it looks like. So if you are a beginner or you know a beginner that needs a book, highly recommend, and for $7.99 you can't go wrong. All right, so that is our first book. Our second book is called 99 Granny Squares to Crochet. It advertises as 99 different patterns for granny squares, and it does give you 99 patterns. However, here is the drawback with this book, and because of this one drawback, I would not recommend it. There are no, look at that, no pictures of your squares, you guys. None. To get a picture of the square, you have to go to the middle of the book where they have just laid all the squares out and assigned a number to them, like this. Now these pages are in the middle of the book. So there are quite a few pages of pictures, just like this. And then they're numbered. Each square has a number. And for that number, you have to go through the book and you have to find the corresponding number on a pattern. Now the other thing I don't like about this is they don't tell you the name of the granny square. It's just a number. So you know, a traditional granny square might be number 50, and it won't say traditional granny square. It just says number 50. So yeah, no name. Look at that, no name of the square. Now, what the heck is that about, y'all? Why couldn't they put the name of the square on there? At least have the name of the square, right? But you know, if you start doing this pattern and you're not sure if you're doing it right, you have to flip to the middle of the book to look at the little picture. You have to just keep flipping back and forth because, you know, sometimes you like a visual, right? And then too, if you're having a hard time and you think maybe there's a YouTube video on how to make this particular square, well, you're just out of luck because it doesn't tell you the name of the square. How can you Google it if you don't know the name? Yeah, That's right. So this book makes no sense. It's $9.99, and I do not recommend that you purchase it for those exact reasons I just said. Because you know what we do here? We tell it like it is, right? You got that right. Okay. Our next book we're going to talk about is A Modern Guide to Granny Squares. It's awesome color combinations and designs for fun and fabulous crochet blocks. This book is $13.36. It has great pictures in it. I want to say there are probably about at least 50 patterns in this book. It doesn't exactly say how many patterns are in the book, but you know, there's nice pictures. I do like how over here in the sidebar it gives you a complete breakdown on the pattern, you know, the skill level, the hook size, the block size, the techniques, the different yarn colors, so that you don't have to think of those colors on your own. It tells you what stitches it uses, and then it also tells you what blocks mix and match together right down here. You guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I love the diagrams. I love that it has both because I'm a diagram girl. Y'all know that. If you don't know how to do a granny square by a diagram, I have a video down below somewhere, and I will link it for you, that teaches you how to do a diagram. It's super easy, y'all. And once you figure that out and you get comfortable with the diagram, you're going to be like, doink, why didn't I learn this sooner? So easy to just look at a diagram instead of reading a bunch of words. I mean, yeah, it is. You just look at it and you go, oh, that's a double crochet. Okay, go on, go on. You know what I mean? Super easy. So this book I really like. I like how it's organized. I like how it's put together. I like how you have at least 50 different patterns in it. It's a super nice book. It also tells you the skill level. If you're a beginner, don't try to do anything that's out of your skill level because it's going to be frustrating. So look at the skill level. It'll tell you. And in the back, it does give you some crochet basics. They are not real pictures though. They are those drawing type pictures that I don't care for. But even with that said, I think the book offers a lot of value for $13, and it does give you some patterns as well. I think it gives you projects. I think it gives you 4 or 5 different projects in the actual book that you can also do, and that's nice. It's just like a little bonus. Yeah, there's a pillow, there's a crochet storage box, there's a blanket, there's a wall hanging. So it does give you a few projects, not many, but a few. So, highly recommend A Modern Guide to Granny Squares. The next book we're going to talk about is Granny Squares Chic, and that's 15 projects. And it gives you the patterns, the techniques, the instructions, and it tells you how to make the square associated with that project. So you are only going to get 15 different granny squares in this book. And that's if they're different squares from the other projects. So it might actually be less because I think quite a few of these just use a traditional granny square. Now, I think there are a couple that use a different one, but this is more of a project book, and they do have nice projects, but they also do give you the pattern for the actual granny square. So they will show you the picture, they'll tell you what it is, and they'll show the square down here. And then they'll tell you how to make the square. Here's how you make the square. You know, there are no diagrams, it's words only. So if projects are more important to you and you like a traditional granny square, this book is the way to go. It's $15.99. I would not recommend you spend your money on it. That's my opinion, because you don't get very many different granny square patterns in this book. You do get 15 different projects, and they're all nice. If you're wanting it for the projects, then that's great. I suggest you go ahead and get it, because look at the projects. The projects are fantastic. It does explain the projects quite well. You will not be disappointed in that, but only get this if you're looking more for projects, not for granny square patterns, okay? Now the next book we're going to talk about is $19.99. You get 100 different granny square patterns. It's called the Granny Square Book, 2nd edition. This is it right here. This is a nice book. It's a softback book. It does have pictures and diagrams of the granny squares. So, and it's got real pictures, the kind I like, that explain how to do it. It's got different granny square techniques. It's got how to join your squares. Yeah, it explains the diagrams. It has a chart right here for different terms, your abbreviations and things like that. It also has a beginner area that teaches you how to do stitches, you know, the basic crochet stitches, and then some other stitches like popcorn stitches, a picot, you know, how to do front post, back post, triple doubles, trebles, doubles, halves, singles, you know, those kind of stitches. It also teaches you, you guys, how to do a half granny square, which I thought was interesting. Half granny square for those projects where you need those. Yeah, when you're putting your squares together and you need a half square, there you go. So, this book, $20, and I think that this book is a pretty good book. It does also give you some projects. It gives you some blankets, table runner. Look at that. How cute is that, y'all? That's a baby sweater with a hat. Another sweater. All of these projects use granny squares. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Actually, for the $20 and all of the different projects you get 25 different projects and 100 squares. I would say this is a good value at $20 because you get those projects as well. Okay, so real quickly, we have 2 more books to talk about. This one is the Ultimate Granny Square Source Book. It's $20.61. This has a little bit better cover. It's still a soft cover, but it's much harder than the other ones. The book is absolutely beautiful. Pictures, diagrams, words. It gives you, oh my gosh, so many different granny squares. The levels go all the way from beginner all the way up to an advanced crocheter. Okay, and you guys, look, I just love the big pictures of the squares. I love the nice big diagrams. I love that it has the words for those of you who like to follow a word pattern. It's just so many different designs. You can do it for kids. Look at that. It's amazing, you guys. I absolutely love this book. It talks about, it gives you a chart explaining all the abbreviations and different stitches. It gives you a color chart. It gives you some information on how to do everything, joining, finishing, the different stitches, the special stitches, how to position stitches. No pictures, but it does give diagrams. So if you're a beginner, this probably is not the book for you. Not for a beginner. I would not say so. Yeah, even though it does go over basic stitches as well, but they're just diagrams. They're not actual pictures. It talks about skill levels, how to read the patterns, the materials. It explains everything. And then this is what I love too. This is the table of contents. It shows you the square, tells you the name of the square, and where to find the square in the book. I love that, y'all. So if you've got the $20 for the Ultimate Granny Square Source Book, I highly recommend that book. Highly. Now, our very last book is 100 Colorful Granny Squares to Crochet. It's the most expensive, coming in at just under $40. It does have 100 different granny squares. It also shows you like different edgings, shows you how to do all of these different edgings, which I really like. I actually own this book, everybody. I do. It gives you different variations on each square. It gives you the diagram and the words. This book I fell in love with just because of all of these different things that I just mentioned. It does give you projects and tells you how to put those projects together. It gives you project notes, gives you all the requirements that you need. It gives you variations on colors and different stitches that you can do. This is really an awesome book. Now, I have to say, when I bought this book, it was not $40. It was about, I want to say it was around $20 when I bought it. It could have even been less. I really think I paid between $15 and $20 for this when I bought it, because I bought this several years ago, okay? But yeah, this book has all kinds of things. It has real pictures. It does give a beginner advice on how to block, how to join the squares, how to work with colors. It talks about reading patterns and charts, your gauges. It shows you how to do different stitches. However, those are diagrams, not actual pictures, which is the one thing that I don't like. I like real pictures. So if you're willing to spend more money, I do recommend this book. I love that it has different edgings for your squares, so you can fancy them up if you want or whatever. Or you can use these designs on any project. It doesn't even have to be a granny square. So that is a plus of this book. It does have a mix of different projects that you can do. I forget how many projects are actually in this book. There's several. There, you know, blankets, purses, throws, pillows, different projects that you can do in this book. Yeah, there's not a lot, but there are some projects in this book too. So that's this one. Like I said, it's the higher price tag. Just because of the cost of it, I don't recommend it unless those things that I pointed out are really, really important to you. I did not pay this much for the book when I bought it. Once again, I want to say I think I paid $15 to $20 for it. At that price point, I would have highly recommended it. At the $40 price point, I think you get a better value with one of these other books. So that is the review for today, everybody. All the way from $7.99 up to $40. What I thought, these are my very own opinions. I bought and paid for each and every one of these books with my own money. I will also link all of these books below so that you can go check them out yourself and see if you want them. I do have to say I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you use the link, Amazon will pay me a few pennies, but that doesn't increase your price at all. You pay the same whether you use my link or not. If you use my link, it does help my channel, and I appreciate that tremendously. So if you are a returning subscriber, you know how much I appreciate you, and I am so happy that you are here and that you come back time after time again. You guys, my gratitude is to the sky and back, right? So thank you. If you're new here and you like what you see, me and my content, I would appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. Yeah, I'd be tickled pink, actually. So, you guys, if you haven't entered my contest to win the Ultimate Granny Square Survival Kit, please go to the video below this one and enter that contest so you have a chance to win, all right? So that is it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. You know what's next. Be kind and be safe out there in the world, no matter where you are. And I will see you all soon. Oh, and go check out my new private memberships. I almost forgot to say that. I just put that all together. So yeah, check that out. That's it, everybody. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.